A tisket, a tasket. I've got myself a little basket. Now all I need is to get a little red cape and tromp off to the woods with goodies for Grandma. Yeah. Good morning, everybody. It's Stephen here for Bland Designs and the Idiot Quilter, and welcome to my weekly vlog. Today's vlog number is 407, and it is May the 5th, 2025. Hope everybody had a good weekend, and I hope the week ahead is something you're looking forward to. So let's get right into what I've been working on, and of course it is the Barnstar Sampler, but it is now not completely finished, but the top is completely finished. And you can see that I've added a couple of borders to it as well, and that makes it just the right size for our bed. And I'm hoping later this week that I'm going to get it on Lucy and get it all quilted up. So you may see it on next week's vlog, or you may not see it for about a month because, excuse me, we're off to Holland next Monday evening. We fly out from Toronto, Pearson Airport, and to Amsterdam. So more about that later on. But let's move on. What else do I have to show you? Well, I made another bag. It is the Peacock Feather Bag by Sweet Pea Designs. And it's an In the Hoop project. And this one I did correctly. It's not like my dragon bag. And I'm really quite happy with the way it turned out. And I've added another embellishment to it that I will talk to you tomorrow on Idiot Quilter about. And I think that's all I've been up to show you this week. So that takes us to the YouTube channel of the week. And this one, if you like history, but you like history from more of the social point of view, and you want to learn a few things about why certain things were done at certain times in history, then this one you're going to like. It's called Historidame. Historidame. It's a funny spelling of a word. This week's YouTube channel is one called History Dame. I think that's how you say Dame. Maybe it's Historidame. Anyways, this person that does this, she talks about interesting things out of history. Not your usual history kind of channel, but things that, you might be more interested in, mainly because of their entertainment value. The one that caught my attention was early amusement parks were terrifying. And that one was an excellent episode about how, people got on rides without any precautions, and there were people killed on them, and probably why today we have, safety standards that we have for amusement rides. But she has others like Regency Era of Beauty, Woman Disease, The Oppressive History of Hysteria, Resurrections, Men Who Made a Living Stealing Bodies, and etc. There's a whole bunch of them here, as you can see. And she delivers them in a very entertaining but informative way. So if you are a history enthusiast or history buff and you want to look at some of the stranger sides of history, then you might want to check out Historidame. So you'll find the link for that YouTube video in the show notes below. You'll also find a link for Sewing with Stephen, which happens every Wednesday, starting at 9 a.m. Eastern and runs till about 4 p.m. Eastern. It's come and go as you please. Everybody is welcome. We do not get into politics. We just have a nice, pleasant conversation about sewing and quilting. So, as I said, everybody's welcome to join us. And you will find links for all of my patterns. They're all free. They're on my Google Drive. They're in PDF format, so you can download them, and away you go. Frog in my throat again. And there is a tutorial as well on YouTube for Windmills on My Mind for that particular quilt. Okay. And there's other links there that you may be interested in as well to check out, so please do. And let's now turn the page and let's talk about what things are looking like outside today, shall we? It is spring after all, and I think we're pretty much safe to say that at this point in time we are not going to have any more snow. However, it's rare, but it has happened where we've had, a brief snowfall in May, which is not too particularly good for the trees because, as you can see, the trees are budding out right now. this weekend they really started to explode. And I would say if the weather is decent this weekend, or this week, then they will really leaf way out. And I love the trees in the front of our house. And I know some of the trees, the town has come around and cut them down, and they have replaced them with new ones, but they're little ones. These trees have been here since we moved in. So these trees are 30 years old. And, you know, it would be a shame to see those get cut down, because when they're in full leaf, it looks really nice on this part of the street. So what is the temp today, you may be asking? Well, currently it is 12 degrees C, which is, let's see, about 54, 55 degrees Fahrenheit. And I think we're supposed to have a high today of 19, so that's pretty good. No rain in the forecast today, or is there? Oh, yes, there is. 60% chance of rain, but according to this weather app, that's not supposed to start until about 7 p.m. tonight, so good. After I get this recorded, I can go out for my walk and not melt. Looks like rain on Tuesday, looks like rain on Wednesday as well. And then we're sunny and clear, and Monday, which is an important day, it was Monday night actually, is an important night, is partially sunny or partially cloudy, whichever way you want to put it, with a high of 21. So that'll be nice, because that's when we are flying out that night at about 9 o'clock. Our flight leaves from Toronto to Amsterdam. So yeah, you kind of want nice weather when you're flying. You know, flying is nerve-wracking enough. You don't need bad weather for it. Okay, so that takes me to what's pissed me off this week. Well, this is kind of a short little rant, because I did a lot of the rant yesterday on Stephen and Walter Live about our election. Now, you would assume, because you know me, I am a liberal, Big Al liberal, and I wanted the Liberal Party, being led by Mark Carney, to get into power, and they did. And Mark Carney is now officially our Prime Minister, and I'm really putting a lot of my faith in him, that he's going to do a very good job and keep us protected from Trump. And I think he will. Trump's not going to get a chance to get us as his 51st state. That's just a pipe dream in his head. Yeah. But anyways, that's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the election results and what they mean. We have a minority government. That is not unusual in Canada. In fact, for the last, I don't know how many years now, the Liberals have been in power for over 10 years through various elections, and they've always had a minority government. This one came very close to being a majority. Now, what's the diff? It simply means that the Liberals are in power, but in order to have a majority government, they have to have 172 seats in the House of Commons. There's a total of 343 seats, I believe, and that would put them over the halfway mark. So basically, that's a majority government. They're three seats into the wind, 3 seats short of a majority. Now, they still have a very, very high seat count, which means that anything that they pass with a little bit of cajoling with the other parties, it'll probably go through. However, the Conservatives are the official opposition, and they have quite a few seats too. There are a lot of stupid people out there that voted Conservative. I'm sorry if that offends you. And that's all I'll say about that. But, yeah. So they're going to have to play up to a couple of the minor parties that have seats, like the Bloc from Quebec. That is a different type of party. They really look after the interests of the Quebecois first, Canada second. And so they have 23 seats. So if it's a very controversial bill that the Liberals want to get passed, the Liberals will all vote for it, but they're going to need a few of the ones on the block to vote for it too, in order to get a majority vote and get the bill passed. The NDP are down to 7 seats, which is a new record low for them. They never make a government up because, well, you know, you have to be they're more more to the left, but they're closer to, well, they're far left, basically. And they're very, very socialistic in their views, and they're good for keeping the government in check. They really are good at that, and they've done that for many, many, many years, so they're experts at it. But the Liberals, if they want to get a bill passed through, could use a few of their votes as well. So yes, there's going to be some dancing in our parliament. Now, how much of a dance when it comes to the big issues about protecting our sovereignty as a country? That's to be seen. I would hope, in an ideal Canada, that the Conservatives or all the parties would put aside their party politics, and if it's a bill that is meant to protect us as a country, they would all be on board. But the Conservatives are led by a real creepy fellow called Pierre Poilievre. Sorry if you don't like what I'm saying about Pierre Poilievre. Too bad. He didn't actually get elected to Parliament this time. And you're going to say, well, how can a leader of a party who doesn't get elected still be the leader of the party? Well, that's because one of his minions is going to step down. They'll have a by-election, and he'll probably win that by-election. So he'll have a seat in Parliament. That's how it works here in Canada. Yeah. But he is kind of Trumpish. Yeah. And he's a career politician. He's never had a real job in his life. He could cause some problems, cause some waves. And, you know, he has the Westerners, some of the Westerners, especially in Alberta, tend to be more on his side. I mean, there's ugly rumors about Alberta wanting to have a referendum to separate from Canada. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. I think the majority of Albertans are Canadians first, and they're not going to separate. It wouldn't be good for them. They think only in their little imaginations, their pea-picking minds, do they think that that would be a good thing. And that's a very small minority of people in that province. I mean, they're probably the same group that drove their trucks to Ottawa back during COVID and protested. We know how that worked out, don't we? Can you say prison for some of them? Mm-hmm. So, what are my personal feelings about it? Well, I'm happy the Liberals got in. I would have been much more happy if they had gotten a majority government. But I think Mark Carney, right now, until he proves me wrong, I think he is the best candidate right now in this juncture of time for us as Canadians. I think he will protect us as a country. I think he will find new trade outlets for us that break us away from and it's not really a dependency. It was a mutual agreement that Trump decided to violate in trade between our two countries, because the states are going to suffer too if we have little to do with them on trade. The Americans were convenient to have trade with because they're right here, right? Just from a logical point of view. But they're not the only fish in the sea. And the Europeans have a vital market out there, and, you know, it could bring new life to businesses here in Canada if we had some agreements with some of the European countries. Not only that, but he's going to try to break down some of the trade barriers between our provinces within Canada and make it a little easier for the freeing of goods, or free flowing, that's the word I want, free flowing of goods between all of our provinces. That would, I think, be a good thing as well. So, you know, there is a silver lining to all this crap that's coming up from south of us. It's bringing us together as a country. It's giving us new opportunities for economic growth. And, well, we'll see how that works out. My money is on Mark Carney. I support him fully. As I said, until he does something that is ridiculous. And the only thing I can see him doing that's really ridiculous is selling us out to Trump. And I don't think that's going to happen. So that's the state of affairs we're in right now. We're into May. Let us see what happens now. The dust is settling on our election, and Trump has been staying away from us a little bit during this time. Will he rear his ugly head again and threaten us with something else? Time will only tell. Okay, so grow lights. Well, not much to show you. Okay, here's the problem when you grow a lot of peppers at once. They're coming on very nicely. We have a wide variety of peppers, but you'll notice these ones down here. These are ones we've got to get these ones picked and do something with them. Eat them, or at least slice them up, clean them up, slice them up, and freeze them for cooking purposes. Because otherwise we're going to lose them because, yeah, we need to harvest. And we will be doing that this week as well, because, you know, when we go away, who knows what these plants are going to be like when we come back 2 weeks later. Walter always sits them down in big buckets of water to keep them, you know, all watered and everything. And yeah, that makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Keep them watered and everything. Yeah, okay, my brain's not functioning that well this morning. A little sleepy still. But anyways, yeah. And then when we come back, it'll be time to plant our container gardening out on the deck. And you know how much I love that every year, because it's not just for the fact that we're growing our own produce and stuff, but it's the beauty of it. It looks so nice. Right now the deck is looking pretty stark, of course, but yeah, I'm looking forward to nicer weather and having plants growing out on the deck again. The chives are up. Yeah, like fiercely. We have more chives than any human being possibly consume. Got to make a point of throwing chives in every salad and soups and things like that when we have them. And we don't have to do anything with them. In fact, Walter kind of split them up because they were getting a little pot bound, and they come up every year on their own. I guess that's what, is that a perennial? And they do very well out on our deck. So yeah, even though our weather right now has been, you know, fluctuating between warm and cold a lot, they are a hearty little plant. So yeah, if you're looking for something green, and they look nice, you know, nice green stocky stems, you know, wafting in the wind. That's wafting in the wind. So yeah, that's the plans for when we come back from our trip. Okay, so new products. Well, remember I was telling you about the light called the Orb that I bought for my fortune teller 3D printed little scene from Fluvo, or Fulv. Still don't know how to say his name. Well, let me show you what I'm talking about here. Yeah, here's the Orb. Okay, this is a really cool light. It is an orb, but it's supposed to run off of Bluetooth. It changes colors. You can even make the colors will go swirly, and it's supposed to be like a crystal ball on the 3D printed display, the fortune teller one. Yeah, I can't get it to work on a self-timing device. It has an app. Doesn't everything have an app these days? And I set it up for it to come on at a certain time of the day and go off at a certain time of the day. And yeah, that doesn't work. And I've tried everything, and I've read all kinds of things about it. And I actually found that other people are complaining about the same thing. And this has been going on for several years now. And people have made it known to the company, and the company's done nothing about it. They're out of China. They don't care. So anyways, I have been complaining to the company as well. I mean, I love the light. It's great. But it's not much use to me right now in the way I'm using it if I can't put it on a timer. Because, and it seems like it drops its Bluetooth. As soon as you move away from it any distance, somewhere else in your house, yeah, it doesn't have the wavelength, I guess, to connect to the Bluetooth anymore. So I went back and forth with the company about this, and what they finally did as a solution, they sent me another one, free. Same problem with it. So they haven't changed it. Really, the basic problem is the app, or well, the orb as well, the way it's been designed. It shouldn't be Bluetooth. It should be Wi-Fi. That would solve a lot of problems. But obviously this company doesn't care to make it that way. And as you can see in the price, and this is in Canadian dollars, it is not particularly cheap. Like, I think that price has gone up since I bought it, because when I bought it, I think it was $19.99, I think. And just like anything, you got to watch Amazon, because if you go back to buy something you bought a month before, you will usually find it's a little bit more expensive than you bought it than when you bought it then, because of course they have a record of who bought what when, and that's one of the tricks of Amazon. If you didn't know that, and they do that all the time. So especially if you go back into your cart and of your previous purchases, and it's, you know, there's a button that says buy again. Before you hit the purchase cart, the checkout, check the price, because that price may have gone up. And if you do a little search within Amazon for the same product, you might find it for a little less of a price. It's a trick that Amazon does. Yeah, you know, we gotta love and hate Amazon, don't we? They've got us, though. They have us hooked. But anyways, yeah, so that was their solution. So I have 2 of these lights, and it's too bad, but I don't think they're going to see the light of day, so to speak. Yeah. Okay, so that takes me to, can I print this 3D effing thing? Well, yes, I can. And let me just show you what it is I've been printing lately. I just have to find my picture. Yeah, these I'm so thrilled with these. And I wish I had seen this before Easter. These baskets, these are incredible. 3D printed, great baskets, really strong. And the handles went on really easy. I had the right set of screws for this, and they have pre-drilled holes, and they've even created a little indent in the inside of the basket where the nut for the bolt goes, and it recesses into the basket. I love them. I think they are really beautiful. They're very strong, which is surprising, and I have no idea what I'm going to do with them. Right now, they're sitting on my Ruscot cart, and they have fat quarter bundles in them, sets. The reason I said I wish I'd known about this before Easter is because I could see myself, and maybe next year, making these, or a little smaller version of these, because I can probably scale it down a bit, and filling it with, you know, a fluffy little bunny, or some other 3D printed things, you know, little Easter baskets kind of thing. I think they'd be absolutely cute. I don't know who I'd give them to, but they'd look absolutely cute. I have a feeling I have saturated my nephew and niece with 3D prints. They just look at me and go, oh yeah, he's been doing it again. So, yeah. But anyways, they're cute. What else is cute? Well, yes, it's another dragon. Did him on my bamboo lab in these colors, and I made him at about 75% of the whole size, the regular size. And actually, I like this size. This is nice. So if you happen to win one of my mystery boxes that we do a draw for on the first live of every month, then you may receive one of these. My idea is to basically put a little dragon in every mystery box, along with some other things that I have made. And congratulations to Inez, who is one of my regular subscribers. She won the mystery box on live yesterday, on Sunday. And what else? Okay, he's hot off the press, so to speak, right this morning. He finished up sometime in the night. He's a little articulated octopus, but I love the detail on him. You can see the little hearts and little spots and all the things on his tentacles and on his head. I think he's really cute. Again, this one was printed in or on my Bamboo X1C printer. And yeah, the more I use that printer, the more I want another one. See what we can do when we get back from Holland. And okay, these little guys, they're really cute. Now these were printed on the KEs, the older printers, and I do want to print a few of these on my bamboo just to compare them, because these ones can also be done in multicolors. But on the KEs, of course, the only way you can get multicolors is to either use a variegated filament, or I actually physically have to pause the printer, put another different color spool of filament on, and carry on. And then it's just more of a striping, whereas the bamboo does, as you saw with the octopus, the colors are integrated together. But you're going to ask, what are these? Well, you can't see the back of the pigs or the little dinosaur very well, but there's a little clip back there. It's built right into them, and they are bag fobs. Yeah. So my idea is on bags I make in the future or give away, I'm going to attach these to the handles of the bag, or actually sew them to the side of the bag or something like that, and they're just a little added accessory. Now I have other ones that I've made in the past too, and tomorrow I'm going to show you a really cute accessory that I have printed for that peacock feather bag. But anyways, yeah, I think they're kind of cute little things. They could be keychains as well, so whatever you like. And I think that's all I've got. There it is. So that's what I've been up to. I don't know what I'll print next. Oh, I didn't take a picture of it, but I should have. So I found a really practical print. Whether it works or not, we shall see. This time of the year, the hornets are out, and because we back onto a forest, so there's quite a few of them, and they're looking for places to build their nests, and we do not want them making their nests under our eaves. So I found this 3D print that's looks like a part of a hornet's nest, and the idea is, according to the designer of it, it will deter them from making a nest wherever you put one of those up, because they think there's already an existing nest. And I guess hornets are very territorial, so they won't build a nest in a spot that already has a nest there, or a partial one. So I printed out a bunch of these, and Walter put some down in his shed area, because of course that's an ideal location in there for them to, build a nest, and you don't really want to open up your shed door and get attacked by killer wasps or hornets. And we put some up in around our patio or deck area, because that's the place they love to hang out there too. And we'll see how they work. Better than trying to use a pesticide. And well, there is one that you can get, a wasp spray, but I don't know if it really deters from coming around. If you spray it with it, it kills them. But yeah, we'll see. So yeah, I'll let you know how that works out. Okay, so it takes us to an old clip from S&W Live, and on this one we talk about the principle of sending food back in a restaurant when you're not happy with what you got.
E. coli from all kinds of things like uncooked meat. Like Americans, a lot of times when you order a hamburger, get a medium, and in Canada they have to cook them well done. And we had one when we were in England, and I don't know if they thought we were American or what, but they gave us hamburgers,
and it was
that were pretty raw inside.
Yeah,
and we don't like them raw. I like them well cooked all the way through.
We sent those ones back, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. We sent
send back
and had them recook it.
Yeah. Well, speaking of sending back food, we went to a little brekkie place on yesterday, for lunch, and we'd been there before. It's one of those, those
breakfast
chain
places.
Egg Smart something. If you have those in the States or in England, I don't know, but the kind of place that specializes in brekkie. And we thought this time though, we were there around lunchtime, so their club sandwich looked good, and I like club sandwich, so we both ordered. They had you could get a half a club sandwich with their signature soup of the day. They call it the signature soup of the day. And so we both ordered that. And
well, it was canned signature soup.
Yeah, well, okay, so I'm building up to this.
Yeah.
So anyways, I could see their kitchen area and where they put the food up on, on the rack for the waitress to come and take it out. Well, I see them put the 2 club sandwiches up there on the plate, and then 1 bowl of soup goes on the plate. And then it sat there for 5 minutes. They're waiting for the other bowl of soup. And I'm thinking, what are you doing? And their signature soup of the day, which apparently is every day is the same, is chicken noodle. Okay, how can you say Lipton's? Whatever. So I'm watching this up there and I'm thinking, my sandwich is kind of, because it's toasted, it's probably getting a little soggy up there, but whatever. So, and we also ordered an order of fries, and for those of you in England, chips, to split. So she comes over finally with our sandwich and our soup, and then she brings over one little tiny dish of chips. And she says, "Don't worry." She says, That's not a full order." She says, "They're cooking up some new ones because we ran out." You ran out of French fries. French fries in North America are a staple.
Well, the problem is this place is like a breakfast place, right? So it seemed like most people were eating still breakfast at noon, right? And they serve breakfast all day. I think that's what they do best, right? But anyway, so we get the sandwich, and their sandwich are stuck to the plate.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's the thing. It sat under not even a heat lamp, just up on top of this rack. And the mayonnaise they had put on it, they put it on the bottom part, and it soaked through the toasted bread. And I literally had to take a fork and pry my sandwich off the plate. Plus, the soup was
Canned soup.
Canned soup. Like, big deal. Signature soup, my butt. And it took her forever to bring out the rest of the fries. By the time she brought out the rest of the fries that we had were stone cold. Not her fault. It was the fault of the people in the kitchen. And I was watching them. I could see the kitchen. The kitchen's sort of not an open concept, but you could see into it from where we were sitting. And I'm kind of watching them in there. And quite frankly, none of them were the sharpest tool in the shed, really, with this. So the manager came over and says, "So how was everything?" Because I think the waitress said to him, "I got a couple of customers. I don't think they're really happy." I mean, I hadn't said anything to her. It wasn't her fault. I wasn't really complaining to anybody. But I said, "Well, as a matter of fact," I said, "No," I said, "I'm a little disappointed." And I told him why. I had to pry my sandwich off the plate. We get
Well, actually,
half
you
an
did
order.
say to her, she said when she brought the other fries out, she said, first of all, I figured that they gave us a few fries. They were stone cold. I figured that they'd just bring out a big plate of fresh fries, and forget about that. No, they gave us another half order of fries. They were hot, but the other ones were stone cold. And the waitress says, "Oh, so you got warm fries and hot fries?" And Steve said, "No, we've got cold fries and hot fries."
Yeah.
Right? And
so that's probably why she went to the manager to let him know that it sounded like I've got some unhappy customers. Anyways, he came over. He apologized for everything. I said to him, "Look," I said, "we've been here before and we like it well enough, but we've never had your lunch items. We've always had the breakfast items and they've always been fine. So, I don't think that I'm probably going to do lunch here again or whatever." But anyways, what he did was, and this was really nice of him. I wasn't bitching to get anything for nothing. Okay, that wasn't my method. But I get to the point now where I figure people come up and go, "How's everything tasting?" Oh, that drives me nuts. That's the new phrase that all the wait staff has now. They come after you've had your food for about one bite into it. "How's everything tasting?" I don't know.
I feel like saying the quality is shitty, but it tastes okay.
Yeah, or whatever. Yeah, but I thought, well, okay, I'm going to be honest, because if you're not, tell them. Like, if they're really serious about their business, then they'll want to know, so they can improve. So I told him, and he said he was so sorry about that and the whole bit. And he took off. Well, he took off half on the bill.
Yeah.
So he reduced our bill by 50%.
Plus he gave you a 25%.
Plus he gave us a 25% off on our next visit coupon. Well, that is good PR, because I may tell people about this and say it, but I will turn around and say, "But they tried to make up for that and did this." So I will go back. Because they're definitely trying to make an effort. So some places, they just look at it and go, "Yeah, whatever, poo-poo." So that would be the end of that.
And next week, we're going to talk about sex deviate. Let me try that phrase again. Next week, on an old clip from S&W Live, we're going to talk about, or it's a clip about, sex deviates, I can't say that word, and the LGBTQ community. Yeah, so I hope you'll tune in for that. All right, events in the past week, we got shot. Yes, we got a booster COVID shot. Because with this traveling business, we don't know what we could run into, and I really don't want to be sick or have COVID when I'm over in Europe. So we both got that shot, and as I said yesterday on Stephen and Walter Live, is pretty much becoming a twice a year kind of thing. And then you have your flu shot in the fall, and yeah, drug us up. Just give me those shots. Yep, but whatever. You get to a certain age where you're more susceptible to things, so best to take the preventative route, I think. Other events the past week? Nothing really. I'm still doing my walks. It's been 14 days now as of yesterday. I haven't missed a day in 14 days, and I do enjoy that time. And after I get this finished, I'm going out for my walk this morning. I walk on average about 2.8 kilometers. So that is about 2 miles. Okay. And on yesterday, Sunday, we went for a longer walk. We went for a 5.1 kilometer walk. How do we know how far we've walked? We have these iWatches. I love iWatches. I really do. It keeps everything on track for me, and goes to my iPhone, and it keeps a record of all of the stuff. I've been keeping my own chart as well, just to see. Now, have I lost any weight? I think I have. Oh, I'm not losing like tons. I mean, you know, if I want to lose a lot quicker, I would walk half a day, every day. But yeah, but I just want to get my walking legs in shape for the trip, for one thing, because we will be doing a lot of walking on that. And it's just good for your health. Yeah, it's a good habit to have. Plus, I find it's very mind clearing as well. You know, you get out there, especially in the mornings when there's nobody else out on the streets. It's great, you know, because there's nobody there. I'm plugged into my, my iPods. That's it, iPods in my ear. And I've been listening lately to podcasts. And that's a good time too. It's almost like reading, but not. Yeah. And I haven't yet stepped over the line into the audiobook world. And here's why, because I'm cheap. Audiobooks are expensive. And any of the freebies I have seen are, why they're free. So I don't know. I'm still exploring that possibility too. Okay, so what's coming up? Well, of course, the trip. So what's going to happen? I've told you that next Monday night, we fly out from Toronto to Amsterdam, and we will be in Holland for about 2 weeks. So that changes our whole routine for our videos. I do not prepare my videos way in advance and have them all scheduled to come up at different times, because the nature of my videos is that they're fairly current as to what's going on. Now, I probably will do a vlog for next week, because we don't leave. The car service doesn't pick us up until like about 5 or something in the afternoon. So I'll be able to get a vlog in there, but there will not be an Idiot Quilter next week. There will not be a So Chatty next week, and there will not be a the following weekend. There will be an S&W Live this coming Sunday, which will be the 11th, May the 11th. Yes, May the 11th. But then there won't be one for a couple of weeks after that. But we are going to produce videos as best we can while we're on our trip. They won't be on a regular schedule. There may be some lives thrown in there as well. It's all going to depend on the technology, what we come across as far as Wi-Fi connection and everything is concerned. I do believe that just like here and that, most of the hotels have Wi-Fi, at least in the ones that Walter has booked. So that shouldn't be too much of a problem, but we'll see. So stay tuned for it. Now, the best way, although it's not very reliable, is to get notifications of when we will go live or when we're putting up a new video when we're on the trip, is to make sure you turn on the bell, that little notification bell, and set it for all notifications. That may work, it may not work. I don't have a lot of luck with it personally myself with other channels. Sometimes I get notifications, sometimes I don't, and I don't know why. And this isn't uncommon. I've heard everybody on YouTube say the same thing, and YouTube has done nothing to fix it. And I mean, they've had years, because that bell isn't something new. But anyways, if you haven't turned on, you might want to turn it on. And you have to turn it on for every channel you want notifications from. It's no good to just turn it on one of them and expect to get notifications from, maybe you subscribe to 5, 10, 20, 3,000 different YouTube channels and it's going to kick in with them. No, it has to be for each channel you want notifications from. Okay. So anything else to tell you? Not really. Not that I can think of. So I'm going to end today's episode so I can get out and do my morning walk, and I have other things to do today as well. And I hope you have a great week, and yeah, see you later. Bye for now.